Hi, Pia.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, how are you?
Doing amazing. How are you?
I'm really good. I've actually had a great week.
Oh, that's good.
I know. I'm not really one to brag, but I'm gonna brag.
Oh, I
I've
love
had a
that.
very I've had a very adult week.
Ooh, do tell.
Okay, I will. All right.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Two very adult things I did.
Okay.
Number one, number one,
Hmm?
I went to the dermatologist to get my Botox. That's why I was there.
Love it.
But I also had her check a mole that I was concerned about. And I've been concerned about this mole for a while, but
Mhm.
like, you know how we do that thing where we're afraid to ask because we're afraid what they'll say because like it
Yeah.
could be cancer and we're like, I don't really want
Yeah, I feel
um
that. Yeah.
right. But Tamra posted about how it was a skin cancer awareness month last month. And she was like, get your moles checked.
I need
And I
mine.
was like, all right. And so my doctor looked at it and she was like, yeah, I don't love it. And she removed it and sent it to the lab.
Okay.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. Fingers crossed.
You're not wrong. I actually been looking at this mole that I've had for years on my leg. It's like a black one. And I actually didn't think anything of it when it first happened. It's just like, it was like a tiny little black mole on my leg. And one time when I went to the doctor, she said, "Oh, I don't know if I like that." And I was like, "Oh, it's not a beauty mark." I didn't like consider it like, because it's not raised. It's just like kind of looks like a black beauty mark. And she's like, if it gets any bigger, let me know. It does get bigger every year, but it's like, it's not big. It literally looks just like a black dot on my, but not that big, but it is definitely bigger than it was. I should get it
Is
looked
it
at.
is it like asymmetrical? Is it changing shapes?
It's changing a tiny bit, little bit. It's not that bad, but I mean, I'm going to actually, I've been thinking about it. I was like, I should make an appointment because it does get a tiny bit bigger every year.
Yeah. So I did that. And then I also went to the dentist because like my teeth have shifted because that happens as you get older.
Yeah.
And I love my dentist. If you are in LA and you need a dentist, I recommend Encino Smile Design. They do not gouge you. They're not like those used car salesman dentists that do that, like you need all the things you don't really need and you're spending all kinds of money. They do the
Yeah.
opposite. They actually like, I had been quoted a whole bunch of shit and they were like, no, you need this very low budget thing. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? So I really recommend them. And I got fitted for a proper night guard because I thought I was going to need Invisalign. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, no, it's very minor. You're grinding your teeth and it's pushing
Mm.
your teeth forward a little bit because you're like, now you're using your front teeth more because your back teeth are like tired essentially.
Yeah.
And I did that. And then on top of all that, I have been intermittent fasting all week
Okay.
long.
You're such an LA girl. Your Botox, your intermittent fasting, like no dairy, no gluten, no sugar.
I mean,
Who are you? And I love it.
what I'm trying to say is I'm better than you.
You are better than me because I'm the one who was like, let's do that. Let's like no dairy, like no sugar, no gluten. Let's work
Oh
out.
yeah, you were.
And so then I like completely don't follow my own thing that I wanted to do. But I have been better lately. And I started doing Pilates.
I was gonna say I saw you. You're still doing it.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I have to do a class because it holds me accountable and I don't want to waste my money. Like, even though I shouldn't, because I have amenities here and which is like free gym, like it's a full gym in my apartment building. It's just like I don't go. Like it's just like because I don't have no one's gonna like know if I don't go. But I know that I spent 200 something dollars on Pilates classes, and I know that like when I'm in the class, I should finish because everyone's gonna judge me. So I
Yeah.
do it. And I actually do like Pilates. I'm doing the reformer Pilates, which is like on that machine.
Oh, I
And
love
I
it.
love it because it's like almost like like it's tricking me into exercise because it's like a fun little game. It don't trust me, it's super hard, but it still feels like an activity. So it like I'm not as pissed off like if I'm like lifting weights at the gym or something. You know what I mean? It feels like
it's like a ride.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of like a ride, especially when they make you do jumps. I'm like, what am I? A trampoline artist? That's what I like think about when I'm doing it. I'm like, I'm a trampoline artist, and this is how trampoline artists practice for the trampolining. That's what I think. But I'm not a trampoline artist, but I'm gonna have some fucking good core. Okay, by the end of this.
I agree. It also makes you, like you said, I don't know if we were recording when you were talking about it, but it makes your body feel so good.
Oh, it does. It does. Cause like there's different types of the reformer. I've done like the cardio one so far is the one that like really like fucking works you out. Like you're going to be like I had a pool of sweat on my like reformer machine when I was done.
Yeah.
Which was like, okay, great. I got a really, really good core workout. And then there's other ones that feel like it's more of like a stretch, which is like your body needs that too. And my like I have a bad back and like my back felt so good after that. So I highly recommend trying a Pilates reformer class. Like really good for the body.
Yeah. And you got a good deal. Where are you going? Give them a shout out.
Yeah. I'm going to, what is it called? Hold on. I really want to plug because they gave you a deal. They give you a free class first to hook you in. And I was hooked in. It's called Club Pilates in NoHo, North Hollywood. If you're not cool and don't know the slang, North Hollywood, California, baby. I think they have other locations too. So
Club Pilates.
Shout
out Club Pilates. I'm going to do a little plug real quick before we get into the show. Guys, if you could please rate, review, and subscribe to the pod if you are listening on Apple Podcasts. I would truly appreciate it. It costs you nothing. Also, I am now recapping Atlanta with Kendrick from Reality and Comics 2. If you don't know him, I love him. He's on Instagram. I don't know why he doesn't have more followers. He does both like Marvel comics. It's not my world, so I don't want to like screw that up because I know that like they take that very seriously. He does
the Marvel world.
Yeah, but I might be. I feel like but that he does that and also reality stuff, but like all reality TV. But it's exclusively on YouTube right now. But I know that's annoying. I know because I don't have YouTube Premium. It's like $19 a month.
I'm not paying for no YouTube Premium.
$19 a month.
I'm not paying,
what? I'm not
paying for Hulu Premium, I am not paying for YouTube Premium. Are you kidding me? No way.
So if you don't pay for YouTube Premium, as soon as you close out of the app, you can't listen. You can't like watch anymore. So I know that it's annoying.
No. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like podcasts, it's easier to listen because you can like do your thing. You can go and scroll on Instagram. You can do whatever. But I'm doing that because I just want some subscribers over there. So as soon as I hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, I'll release all the Atlanta episodes on the pod.
I see what you're doing. I love that. Oh, I'm so happy that I stuck with Atlanta because I didn't love the first episode. And now I'm hooked in. Like, I'm so happy Marlo has a peach. I still hate Drew.
That last episode was comedy.
I haven't watched the last episode, but I saw your post and I sent it around. I sent your post around because Marlo like killed it. Like so funny because Drew's bootleg fucking, and the editors are so rude.
Oh my God. Rude. The music they put in, like the wah.
Well, when she was first talking about her like dropping it with Drew thing, she's just wildly exaggerating the results of stuff. She's like, oh, did she say she like lost like 50 pounds? I don't know. She's
like, I lost 25 pounds in 3 weeks.
And they're like 10 pounds, 3 weeks. And it like the pictures like, and also this is not body shaming at all. Like it just like the way that she was just like bragging about it and then comparing it to the actual results. And this is the editors. Editors are being shady. They didn't have to do her like that. It was like, but the thing is, I don't want to do that because like it is hard. Like I can't stick to a good food regimen. I can't stick to exercising. So it's like, this shit's hard. So for her to just, try to do something, I get it. Cause I would be right there with her, honey. Like,
they all are like, we would love to drop it with Drew. We just don't know what it is.
They are shady though. They're like, what's her name? Sonia. She was like, oh, like she can't even because of course she's an athlete, Sonia.
I know it's Sonia actually.
Oh, it's Sonia.
It's funny that we can't get that right. And I tell you why we can't get that right, because Luann has been screwing up Sonia's name on Roni for so long, calling her Sonia, that now Sonia's name, we are confusing it with Sonia. Like we're so confused because of Luann.
Also, I realized it's Sonia. You're right. It's also the accent too. Her, like, Jamaican people have an accent, like, because my family's from Jamaica, so, and there's lots of Sonias, and it's like they're also doing an accent on it. So like they're like it's technically probably is Sonia, but like they also have like an accent on it, which like I didn't realize that sometimes like I'm pronouncing things wrong because I'm putting my mom's accent on it. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, swear to God.
Cute.
I thought there was two different things. I thought there was condensed milk. This is the biggest example of me not realizing that my mom's accent was screwing up my pronunciation of a common item. So condensed milk.
Uh-huh.
My whole life until I was probably like 25, I was calling it condensed milk.
Condensed?
Yeah, like condensed milk, because my mom is putting an accent on condensed milk. And I just thought there was two different things. I thought there was I've heard people say condensed milk. So it's like, oh, there's a condensed milk and then there's condensed milk. Thought it was something that they were similar, but they were different. No. It's just my mom's accent on it. So all my cousins, we always say, oh, I need some condensed milk. Like,
this is revelatory.
Yeah, and there's other things that I've been pronouncing with my mom's Jamaican accent unbeknownst to me. So yeah, like most people say plantain. I say plantain.
Is that the correct pronunciation?
No, it's just the accent. Like, I thought that everyone was being ignorant, like calling it plantain. I'm like, plantain. Like, it's plantain. Like, what's wrong with you? Not even hearing that I'm putting my mom's accent on plantain. Like, plantain. Like, fully putting an accent on, not realize. But yeah, so Sonia.
That's really cute, actually. I wonder if more of those little tidbits will come up. I'm excited for that.
Like when they were talking about beef patty, I was like, I know what you're talking about. People get really feisty about their beef patty.
This is such a cute little factoid, Pia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Atlanta. I'm also recapping Real World New Orleans Homecoming with Donnie from I Am the Cute One podcast. He does that with Ono Chels. We are doing that exclusively on Real World. On YouTube. On YouTube. Same deal. As soon as I hit 500 subscribers, I will load it up here on the pod. But good news. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this, and I don't know how I'm going to make time. But on June 23rd, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 2 Ex-Wives Club comes out, and Southern Charm premieres.
Oh, they premiere on the same day?
They do.
Ooh.
And I will be, well, Southern Charm is on Bravo.
Oh, I know Southern Charm is on Bravo, but is Ultimate Girls Trip again on Peacock?
I believe so.
I hate when they do. I don't like that they do that. I don't know, like something about putting on a different. I know that you were saying that they're trying to get everyone to Peacock. Is that what's the deal? Why they're doing that?
That's a good.
I thought you told me that you're saying that they're trying to push people to, because remember when I couldn't get one of the shows that we were doing, maybe it was Beverly Hills, I can't remember. They hadn't put it on the Bravo app. You're like, try to check Peacock. And then you were saying, like, I think that they're trying to drive people to Peacock, and that's
they are definitely doing that, but I can't. It must be on Peacock. Sorry, I'm not very prepared on that question, but I believe so.
No more streaming sites. Everyone needs to chill on that. It's too many. It's too many streamings.
It's like as soon as they figured out people were not going to get cable anymore and just stream, they're like, well, we figured out your game. And so I'm going to be, I don't know how, but I'm going to recap both of those, and that will be on the podcast. I will do that here. I think I'll record those on the weekend at some point, and I will release them on the weekend at some point, which means I don't know when I will do those.
When do you think Paige and Craig will start filming their little spinoff?
I don't think they are getting one.
Oh, I thought that's what that tweet was when she was saying it's going to be. But that was just like fake. I thought
were they saying they're really getting one? I thought they were saying it'd be cute if they got one.
Oh, I thought I took it as gold or like the word of God. I was like, oh my God, I started telling people that they were having a spinoff. I made a rumor up. I don't want them to have a spinoff. Okay, great, because I hate them.
Oh no, I thought it was just them saying it'd be so people would love it.
Oh, I thought they were saying
that's all they were saying.
Oh, okay. I think I misread it because I did read it fast. I just saw like them saying something, and I thought that it was like saying that they were actually having a spinoff, which I'm
they don't need a freaking spinoff. We're about to get so much of them. We're going to get them on both Southern Charm and on Summer House.
But you know how they like to give the favorites spinoffs, so I hope they don't. I don't need more of them.
No, I nothing's been announced.
Okay. Well,
I can't handle any more fucking shows.
Right?
I literally can barely keep up. Like I've barely been able to get Dubai content out. Like,
and they're going to be doing 2 new Ronies. Like they're going to do the OG Roni and then like a new complete cast for Roni. Yeah. Like that's going to be a lot.
I can't.
That's going to be a lot. They're so stubborn. They can't just fire the Roni cast. They're like, no, we'll just give you a different show. Like we still love you.
I don't think they would lose so much of the audience. That's why they can't. They're like, I know. Like I get it. They're like, fuck, people are going to like go crazy if we get rid of everybody. And everyone's like, bring back Dorinda and screaming at them all the time to do certain hirings. So they're like, what do we do? And then because half the people are like fire Ramona and the other half are like keep Ramona forever. So they don't know what to do. So they're like, oh.
I don't care if they keep everybody except for the one person I'm so tired of seeing is Ramona.
I can't see Ramona anymore.
I can't see her anymore.
I know everyone's really excited about the Sonia Luann Simple Life show that's happening. I don't care.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cheesy.
It's going to be so staged, and Sonia's just going to get wasted. And Luann, by the way, what's Luann going to do? She's supposed to be like sober. Is she going to get drunk? Is she going to?
Well, I feel like it's going to be. I feel like it's both of them just going to be trying to hook up with men. I feel like that's because that's their like common thing. Like they're always on the prowl.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just going to be them trying to find men and them flirting.
It's going to be them going to like farms and like, because that's the Simple Life concept, right? Like, so it's going to be them going to farms and making all the workers, and Sonia's going to be making all the workers uncomfortable, and it's going to be bordering on sexual harassment.
Oh, absolutely. And then Luann's going to be like singing cabaret at some point for the farmers. God.
I know like, people
they work hard. I'm going to do a cabaret night in the barn. That's exactly what's going to happen.
The boys have been working hard.
The boys have been working
I should
hard.
Give them a treat.
I'm going to, hey, farmhand, let's set up the barn with like those sparkly lights. And I'm going to wear like a Daisy Duke, some Dukes of Hazzard. And I'm going to do a little cabaret. I'm going to be a little Dolly Parton. I don't know.
Her version of giving them a treat is to have them set up an entire cabaret show for her so she can perform. They're like, thanks, we just did more work.
I know exactly. She's going to be bossing somebody around, and I definitely think she's going to call somebody a farmhand. Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't like even work there. Like I was passing by. Farmhand. Boy.
Dubai is fantastic. Have you watched any Dubai?
Not yet, but I've been hearing good things. So I'm excited to take a gander. I've always wanted to go to Dubai. So I'm excited to kind of see a little bit more of the world.
It's been great, especially learning because when it was announced they were doing Dubai, there was like an uproar. Like, I can't believe people are doing that. Bravo chose Dubai. It's so problematic. And then there was this.
Why is it
letter.
problematic?
Well, so there was this big open letter. These human rights groups penned an open letter to Andy and to Bravo and they listed all these human rights violations and what they demanded from Bravo.
Okay.
And I got this really great. Got into a great conversation with this woman who's who's lived in Dubai forever. And she's like, look, these human rights groups are actually led by predominantly white women, basically like a bunch of Karens.
Oh, no.
Who sort of are, it's kind of like, who is America to judge human rights violations?
I mean, I feel like that's our MO. We always are like putting our nose in people's countries and telling them, you don't want to live like this. And it's like, I don't know, maybe they do. Like,
and so the whole thing that we've heard is that Dubai's like, gay people have no rights and they're basically like beheaded for being gay.
That makes sense. But not that it's right. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I kind of knew that.
So that's not so apparently it's culturally they don't want any public displays of affection, regardless of if you're straight or gay.
I've heard that like
none.
You can't be like, you have to dress modestly. Like there are certain rules of like etiquette in that country.
Yeah. So it's not like if you're gay, only if you're gay, you can't do it. It's like, period. That's just the culture. So it's not like it's targeted. But people feel very safe there. Like, all the feedback I've gotten from people who live there, they're like, I feel safe walking down the street at 10 p.m. And this woman was like, I lived in LA and I locked my doors and I would never walk down the street at 10 p.m. at night by myself. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally true. I never would like feeling comfortable. And then I started to think about like gay rights here. And there's Lauren Boebert, or however you pronounce her stupid name, who's saying that drag queens are the number one threat to our youth, not guns.
God, are you serious?
Drag number one.
Drag queens?
Take children to church, not drag bars.
Okay.
And and like protesting and like screaming at drag queens walking into work and saying like, they're threatening our youth. So that we have that going on in America. And then the way they treat women, it's like, who are we to talk? We've just banned abortions. And it's like the laws that have been passed in Texas, like you can get arrested for driving a woman to get an abortion. Like, it's just, we are so backwards in this country. Didn't we put kids in cages?
Yeah.
We got to shut the fuck up.
We just love telling people what to do and like being superior to other countries. Like, look at us, we're America. We're so progressive. We're not progressive. We're actually the opposite.
Like, we don't have any room to
love to self-interest in the sense of whoever's in power gets to just dictate the whole fucking world. It doesn't make any sense. It's usually 50 people that are behind in the times and mostly made up of white men. And, that's how we work. And it's very hypocritical. Like, it's like, no abortion, but we don't care about gun control. Like,
and no abortion, but we don't want to take care of poor people or any of the children that are born into horrible families that need to be taken care of, like foster care. Fuck foster care.
I know. It's like, fuck foster care. It's like, fuck the homeless. It's like the reason why we have so many children in foster care is like, because you're forcing people to have babies that they don't want to have babies. And then they give them up hoping that the baby will have a better life. And a lot of them don't, because there are just so many.
There's no funding for any of the programs that you claim are great.
Right. And then,
which is why we don't need abortion.
And most people who are adopting tend to want babies, and the ones that are too old end up just aging out of foster care. And then they don't necessarily set them up for a game plan after they age out. They kind of just plop them on the street, which then they can become homeless or they get sex trafficked and
leads to addiction. And then heaven forbid we deal with addiction.
But then then those same people that they try to save become a nuisance to them. Get these homeless off the street. it's a crazy cycle.
And then let's criminalize drug use and just send them to prison. And then let's talk about the prison system. Like, don't even get me fucking started.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something good, though. The January 6th hearings. I know you were at work, so you probably didn't get to see any of the committee hearings for the January 6th. And
we're talking about the insurrection thing.
Girl.
That happened.
Yes. The hearings started last night, and it's so well presented.
Oh, good.
It's all of Trump's people.
Okay.
Like they have all of Trump's people have been interviewed saying like, yeah, no, we told him you lost the election, dude. And he was like, I'm going to tell people I won, and I'm going to convince them that it's rigged, and we're going to start a whole propaganda machine.
Yeah.
Like they're on record saying this. It's presented amazingly. And they showed this they put this 12-minute video together of never before seen footage of how it all played out, clearly showing that it was Trump that instigated it. It was Trump's words. They were there for Trump. Because, the infuriating narrative that it wasn't because of Trump, they weren't there for Trump, was just like, it made me crazy. But they're like, no. We're going to show you it was all Trump. But they have all this never before seen body cam footage from the Capitol Police.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, these people it looks like a zombie apocalypse. It looks like those movies because they're like jumping over people and like coming and attacking them.
They were climbing walls. Like they were like Spider-Man. Like, what the fuck?
Like they look like animals. The way they're coming at them because the body cam footage is like, it's really right there. And the way they're like coming at them and like attacking them, like the way
they were a mob. They were a mob. And that is what mobs do. And I just remember, do you remember that really brave security guard? Like, by the way, they're security guards. They're not like military SWAT. They're just security guards. And this security guard, like at first everyone was like, oh, they're chasing this poor security guard down the hall. And then the one that they gave like a Medal of Honor to. Yes. And then
so sexy.
And then we realized he sacrificed himself because he was leading them in the opposite direction away from all the officials. The same officials that would later recant and pretend as if they weren't scared. That man like saved your life.
He like pushed the guy to get them to follow him. He kind of pushed him.
He was
what's your
literally
problem?
being the whole door, the Game of Thrones whole door of where was that? The Pentagon? That was not the Pentagon. It was the Capitol. Yeah. That was a Game of Thrones reference, guys. Whole door.
Yeah, dude. This is long overdue justice that we are getting to see this play out. But it is, you can go on YouTube and see the whole thing. It is riveting.
It was just like us taking the mask off of this is what Trump's era did to America. It gave people the balls to do things that are just blatantly illegal. Like the amount of pictures we saw of people like throwing the like podiums, like sitting at like these officials' desks, going through mail, which first of all, going through people's mail is a fucking federal crime, bitch. Like you can't be going through people's mail. Like I know that people don't actually usually get prosecuted for that because it's like a random crime, but you're being photographed looking through people's mail. Like that's a fucking crime in and itself. Like you're already trespassing, but like you're just like adding up the charges here, buddy. Like I kind of also want to know what happened to the vegan guy. Remember the guy who had to have a special diet in prison and was like refusing to eat? Mm-hmm. Do you remember? I think he was wearing like war paint and like a no shirt and a fur, like a fur cape. And he like got arrested and he refused. He's like, he has to have a certain diet and he refused to eat until they granted it. But I don't think they ever did. I'm like, how are you going to like commit a crime and then say you need a special menu in jail? Like
a lot of the people that were arrested are testifying against Trump.
Good, because they thought that they were going to be pardoned, and
yeah, no, they're
happened.
like, I did, because this is proof that Trump was a cult leader. They literally were brainwashed to think that they're like, we thought they were stealing the election. Like, he convinced us that they were stealing the election and they rigged the election. So we thought Trump asked us to do two things: vote and storm the Capitol. And they thought he was going to, they were like, he told us he was going to be there.
That's so wild.
Like, we all showed up thinking Trump was going to be there. And now he's not there to pardon me and get me out of this mess. And now I'm facing charges.
They really thought he was going to pardon. They really did. And the thing is, they're learning what many people who have ever dealt with Trump in a business sense have learned. Like, Trump doesn't pay anybody ever. Like, before he was president, he had all his little construction business and all that stuff. He just doesn't pay people because it costs them way too much money to sue. And he knows that.
Yes.
And so he just doesn't pay them. And he gets away with it because that is like, it just look when you get to a certain percentage.
Speaking of how he's in business. So Trump treated the presidency like a business.
Right.
And Jared Kushner, his creepy son-in-law, he looks like those what's that Harry Potter character? They're like the white ghosts that have like,
Are you talking about like Dobby?
Is that
like their little slave?
Yeah.
Oh, Harry
I don't know.
Potter. Oh, Dobby loves Harry Potter.
Hold on, let me see. No, they look like the scary characters. Harry Potter.
The ones that like fly around and like haunt you, kinda.
Yes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Hold on, let me look him up. I'm gonna look him up right now. Hold on. I will get it. Lord Voldemort.
No, you're talking about Lord Voldemort. I thought you were talking
Voldemort.
I thought because like Lord Voldemort has like these like little henchmen flying things that like fucking.
I should not make a Harry Potter reference because I don't really watch Harry Potter, but Lord Voldemort is what Jared Kushner reminds me of because he's scary like that.
Yeah, Lord Voldemort, like that's the one who must not be named. Yeah, like that is scary.
So Liz Cheney is a Republican, and so it's amazing that she is so front and center on this because she's like breaking rank essentially, because like the dumbass Republicans are like, no, it's Trump, we're scared what he can do. I'm like, does Trump have pictures of all of you like touching little boys? Like, what is happening? Why are you guys so afraid of him? Exactly.
Who is he friends with? Think about that.
But like Liz Cheney is like the only one who remembered that she took an oath of office to like honor the Constitution. So she is like amazed that she's like, it doesn't happen where. Remember, people were just quitting constantly under Trump's watch. They were just quitting. It doesn't happen all the time. It like never happens, but people were just quitting. So she says at one point, she's like, right before the end of Trump's presidency, people were constantly threatening to resign. That should be taken very seriously. Here's an interview with Jared Kushner when asked about said things. And so they go to this interview that they did with Jared Kushner, and she goes, were you aware of so-and-so? I'm sorry, I don't remember the names, but so-and-so threatening to resign. And he goes, yeah, there was always like, oh, we're going to resign. But I just thought he was just whining. Is that so? Can you just like, that's like the way Trump ran his businesses. That's so like capitalist.
It's like, yeah.
Like, oh, just whining. Oh. Like that reminded me of like Soho House, like when I worked there, and it was just like, I'm like, hey, I'm on my 14th hour and I've been the only manager, and like, I need some help. And they're like, Emily, just whining.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Thanks, guys.
That's why I'm a big advocate of like, take your personal time, take your vacation time, take your sick days, take them. Yeah, you're not going to get a gold star for not taking them.
You're not.
In fact, all they're going to do is think, I can take advantage of that person because that person will do, and they will, and they don't care. So don't think that you're being like, oh, I'm strong for not taking my sick days or not calling in because do it. Take all of your time that you're allotted. They don't care about you. You're replaceable always. So do not break your spirit, your back for a company. Take your fucking rights back. Take the time off. Okay. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. I guess we've talked about this shit enough. What are we doing? We're talking about Beverly Hills.
We're talking about Beverly Hills, the elite,
the elite.
1%.
So Pia and I did something we don't normally do. I'm glad we did. Pia and I have made it a point not to voice memo like we used to, but we've actually like barely spoken in between recording for the past
so hard
month. But we decided to break rank, and do it. And I'm glad we did because we're going to put a disclaimer before this recap.
Okay.
And guys, Beverly Hills does this every season where they put us in a place where we are debating minutia.
That's a good word.
It's like, and I recognized it when I finished recapping Atlanta. And I was like, no, why was that so light and fun? Because they just put it out there and they just they have fun throwing shade and they can take it and they have thick skin and they keep it moving.
Yeah.
And the thing about Beverly Hills is now in real time, they're all fine. Like they all went to the MTV Awards and they've all moved on. And this whole thing with Crystal and Sutton and all that, it's annoying and it's difficult. And trust me, I have my feelings about it too. But like when Pia and I were going back and forth yesterday, I was just like, you know what? We're just not going to take it that seriously.
Yeah.
So guys, I know that you want us to really I've gotten requests, like really get into the whole thing with Crystal and how she could say that. And then other opposite requests, like Crystal is very triggered, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I need us all to remember something. They're fine now.
Yeah.
Like what's going to happen to us is once we finish debating this, they're going to make up and then the next thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
So this happens every year with Beverly Hills. Yeah. We get really emotionally invested. And I had to check myself yesterday.
Remember, they are rich people living their rich lives. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, when we're going back and forth on the internet about who's right and who's wrong, they're sitting pretty in their mansions and unbothered and getting paid. And we're giving ourselves aneurysms debating on who is right in the situation. And they don't care. So again, let's not, like, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we will have opinions.
And we can have opinions, but like, let's not get sad about it. Let's not let it ruin your day. Let's not get nasty.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it.
We're going to have opinions, but like, as Pia and I finally concluded yesterday, like they're all kind of assholes.
They're all like, okay, guys, they're all like, I'm not being like dramatic. They're just all like not the best people. Like, right.
Yeah.
But that's like what
Garcelle,
we like about it.
Garcelle, we love.
With the exception of Garcelle. Like Garcelle's a queen. She's shady, but she's a queen.
She's shady. She's producing.
She's definitely shady. But most of these people are not the best people at the end of the day, which is fine because it's kind of like why I'm tuning in. Like I kind of like to watch not so great people be not so great to each other, which is what is happening. So let's just remember that
they're not going anywhere. They're not going to like next week they're going to still be here. The following week, they're going to still be here. And like hating their presence so much is going to give you a heart attack.
Yeah. And half the time, I actually don't really think it's happening really with Crystal and Sutton because I don't think that they're like skilled enough. But for the most part, whenever like they're being like crazy and someone has like a really specific opinion, it's them producing themselves because they want to stay relevant on the show. So like a part of us has to remember that they're kind of creating drama that they would never really create if there were camera down, no cameras around. So they're doing this to get us to all argue because it keeps their name in our mouths and then they get paid. Okay. So let's just remember that.
Let's have some fun. All right.
Let's do it.
Action.
Yes.
All right. We open this episode. Garcelle is looking at her investment beach property with her sister Chantal. Yes. And like it's cute. They're going like it's great, but I could not take my mind off the fact that Garcelle was on the beach in skinny jeans. Like she went like to go to the water and I was like, I think she even recognized, she's like, why am I wearing these? Cause she like went to put her feet in the water, but I'm like, she can't pull those up. Like she wanted to kind of like lift them up to like put her feet in, but she's like, these don't go up. And I was like, why'd you wear skinny jeans? Well, you always wear like dresses and shit. Like, why are you? Oh,
I feel like Garcelle's fashion is very hit or miss for me.
Very.
I feel like her confessional looks are great this season. And there have been past seasons where I'm like, why, baby Jesus? Like I hated her purple. I think it was her first season purple confessional look. I hated that so much because it was just like purple on purple on purple on purple. Like,
was that the one where she had the hair?
The purple wig. Yes. I couldn't stand it. She's not the greatest with fashion, but she's not as bad as Giselle from Potomac.
Well, no.
Because like Giselle never gets it right. Giselle, no. It's like crazy to me. She's like, it's like impressive how wrong she gets it. But no, but Garcelle is very hit or miss for me with her fashion choices.
Yeah. Like when Garcelle does like editorial spreads, I love it because she's obviously been styled by someone else and they just make her look, because she's breathtakingly beautiful.
No, yeah, she's beautiful. It's just like she doesn't have like a personal style.
Is so questionable.
Her style is of her age. Like it's like shit my mom would put together. Like my mom is a fabulous like dresser as like if she's going out, like she only has one level, which is extra. But on to the day to day, actually she's getting better with the day to day. But like I had for a while there, I had to be like, you cannot, she would be like wearing out into the world, like my old clothes from high school, like the era, by the way, I went to high school in the mid 2000s. And if you guys know that era, that's the era that's trying to creep its way back. The low rise, the bedazzled, the like baby fat this and baby fat that, like those disgusting, like dated brands. My mom would like wear my old baby fat fucking shirts out. Like at first she was just cleaning in the house with it, which was fine and acceptable. Then she started going into the world with my stuff on. And I said, Mom, why do you look like this? Like, but it's so funny because now all that stuff is kind of coming back. So she kind of is on trend.
I can't even talk about how
she loves a bedazzled jean. My mom loves a bedazzled jean. If there's a jewel on it, she's putting it on.
Okay. All right. I understand your mom more and more. This podcast episode is really like explore. What's your mom's name?
Her name is Leslie.
Leslie. Okay. Shout out to Leslie.
Yes, but like I feel like she like Garcelle reminds me of my mom. Like either she's just like really on point or just really not. And I'm like,
it's like it's a big hit or a big miss.
Yes, I'm like,
But like skinny jeans on a beach, I'm like, this is not acceptable.
Not acceptable. Like the fuck.
When Dorit and Erica go to lunch, I noticed two things. Dorit's eyes were really puffy, like that puffy that you get when you've been crying a lot.
Yes.
And Erica looks a mess. Like she comes in with this oversized jean jacket, this bright printed dress, like makeup that was like too much. Like, you know, it's like the rule is if you're going to do like a lot of eyes, then you go with the light lip. But she has a lot of eyes, a lot of lip. And then like the blowout was like
too much.
It reminded me of the kind of blowout I got when I was like, it's a blowout from like 15 years ago. They took a big round brush and they did like the thing in the front and the front and the front and the front. And I was like, I'm living for this. I'm living for her, just not quite getting it together and trying so hard. And then, you know, Dorit tells her whole bit about therapy, but then they talk about like going to Mexico. And Dorit says that she's like, okay, yeah, Diana's going to get us a private jet. And Erica is so uncomfortable that she goes, oh, that'll be great. You know, because now I don't have those things anymore. I'm like, woo!
She is losing it. Unraveling. It's so crazy too. Cause it's like, she really feels like she's destitute. And it's like, she'll say it so seriously, like, oh my gosh, I have to live in this tiny little shack. It's like $2.5 million fucking house that no one, like most people, Americans will never be able to afford. I'm like, you're not destitute, Erica. You just,
it just shows how much she really wielded power with all that like money that she thought she had.
And she really thought she was untouchable. And it's like shaking her. Like she was, everybody into the group was always looked at her like she has so much and she's not that girl anymore. And she does not know what to do with herself. Yep. Like when she went to Kyle's thing and she couldn't just throw a credit card down and buy whatever she wanted. Like I could feel her saying to Diana, you buy it because I can live vicariously through you. It's just like, she is really in her own way going through it because she is just not used to having to think about what she's spending, like she can't just buy random things because she thinks it's shiny and pretty and wants it. Like, I don't feel bad. Like, this is not a pity party for her, by the way. It's just it's interesting. That's her reality. That is her reality.
It's showing that like she really felt superior to everybody. And that is how she gained confidence. Mm-hmm. She felt better than everyone. And that was real. She was like, this is her personality was being really rich.
Yeah. I don't know if it was you who said this or if I just saw a random TikTok person like going into the psyche of Erica Jane, but like when she's trying to go through her like looks and stuff like that, she's unable to really put anything together because she used to buy for the moment and not collect pieces that she could actually like put other looks together with. So she would just buy like very like of the now things, very specific things. So now she has a whole bunch of like essentially costumes and no real clothes. I think that's why she's also like struggling. Oh,
that explains this weird jean jacket dress.
Yeah, like she just has she has like all these amazing expensive designer pieces because she was shopping for like moments, but she really doesn't have like a capsule wardrobe. So she's just struggling because she really doesn't have like she used to she fooled us into thinking she's this fashionista, but really she was just buying like things to wear in the moment. But
that explains actually so much.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, every scene she shot was like she planned it. Everything was so thought out.
Yeah.
But now she's like, I don't know, what do people wear to lunch that are like normal?
Yeah, like she doesn't have like a go-to like jean and like
so she had like this
shirt.
Weird jean jacket that I bet it was like Mikey's.
Yeah, like she's doesn't have that base wardrobe. She just has costume pieces.
That's so funny. That's so accurate because this outfit was like, it was absurd. I was like, whose outfit is this? It looked like she borrowed it. So I bet it was Mikey's jean jacket mixed with a dress she had from something else. Yeah.
I wonder how much pro bono work Mikey's doing over there because you know she can't afford him. Like I feel like he's like feels bad and he can't like quite break up with her because like she's so dependent on him. And I feel like he's helping her as much as he can for free-ish.
But I wonder how long that'll last.
I don't think it's going to last much longer if she can't pay him because like I'm not, and by the way, I'm making this up. I don't know if he's being paid. Like I have no
she does make a decent enough money from the show. She does make a decent enough money, but is it being being garnished?
Well, my whole thing is like, yeah, it would be you can do a lot with that money that she's getting paid with if she didn't have all of these legal things like how much like they could get paid like even if you have like a question. I remember I forget what fucking show I was watching but it was like I think it was one of those Dirty John shows. Like it was like the second season, the one where she like kills her husband. It's on Bravo actually. So when it was like the second season of Dirty John, and it was like I think Ray Liotta or whatever playing the lawyer, and he was like, okay, if you have a stupid question, you call that person because it's like his paralegal or his like assistant. If you have an important question, you call me because like, oh no, it was a love story. It was Love Story with what's his name? Tall guy from Star Wars in Girls. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was Love Story. It was Ray Liotta. And it was like pretty much like, if you have a dumb question, you call my assistant. If you have an important question, you call me, because the two prices are extraordinarily different. So like the amount of questions she's probably had to call for her lawyers and stuff like that, like draining. And they're probably really expensive lawyers because she's in a very difficult case. So like, I feel like that Bravo check gets eaten up within like the moment she gets it. Like the lawyer just like gets that money. I don't think she has any money. I think she's living off of sugar daddies. Like she's going on dates. Like, I don't think this Bravo check's going to help this lady right now.
Like, I forgot about legal bills. They are so expensive.
Sorry about that. Like journey I went to, I could not remember where I got this.
What's
like
Love
reference.
Story?
Marriage Story. It came out last year. It was Oscar nominated. It has Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah.
And I forget the other actor. Adam Driver. Yeah. And he had to like get a lawyer for the divorce for the kid. And that was like a fun little thing that Ray Liotta said. That was playing his lawyer. And I was like, that's fucking real. Like, not only do you get charged for when he's actually doing work, like if you fucking call that person, they bill you.
I forgot about the call bill.
They bill, and it's a lot of money, guys.
Like, yeah, I forgot. And so Erica I forgot, spending a lot of money on legal bills. So you're right. Mikey's working.
I feel like he has to be working for,
and she also has that assistant.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I don't know how she's like actually staying afloat. I mean, I know
she
how.
Even. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's been rumors. I think that they said something that she had to disclose how she was getting money or something, and to the courts. It was a part of like I think one of the prosecuting lawyers,
I'm sure,
was like, oh, she needs to disclose how she's like affording her life, because they want to know. They're trying to get their money. So like they need to know, how do you support your life? Like,
and she's like, oh yeah. And I think, okay, we'll get into that later. Kyle and Crystal's lunch.
Awkward. Very awkward. It started off so promising.
Oh,
I thought
it started off pleasant.
That's what I'm saying. It started off pleasant, and then it got real nasty, real quick.
And then I really don't.
I feel like just say it.
I don't like when Crystal says she gets like this very serious face. She goes, "I'm going to be really clear."
Oh God.
I'm not going to repeat what she said. I'm like, this is just boring. Like, it's just really fucking boring that you said something in such a serious tone. Like, you said something, like, as a viewer, you said something to make a very big statement, like what she said. Okay. So here's okay. So as I stated on my Instagram post, so I didn't like Garcelle setting her up in that moment and saying, I feel like it was a setup, because she was already really raw emotionally. And she was like, whoa.
It's like, was this the time?
So she like got jarred, and she was like, there was a lot more said prior to that. She said
she did say prior.
That was very dark. And they all went, whoa, we didn't know that. And Kyle was like, wait, I don't remember that. And immediately Crystal said, you don't remember you were drunk.
I didn't like when she said that. That was dismissive.
Immediately she said that, because in her mind, she is saying it happened before she said, are you that girl?
Right.
And Kyle was there. So that was her memory of it. So we're living in this world. We're still, let's live it. We'll live in this world, because that's where we are in the episode.
Right.
And Kyle, because if you're going to say, I'm not going to repeat what she said, it's still building up this like, whoa,
that's the
wow.
Thing. Yeah.
We're still like, oh my God, it's that. But so if you're going to say it's okay, so what is it that can be very dark, very damaging, but also forgivable? Like, what falls in between there?
Yeah.
There's not a lot.
I'm like, what could she have said that that can encompass all three of those things. And it's just like, I was really like, honestly, when she said dark, the first thing I thought of was like, it definitely was like a slur of some sort. Like
she said like something horrible, like Oriental.
Yeah, like
something dated, like
like a dated
white
slur,
lady,
like calling a Native
slur.
American Indian, like something that like using the R word, like something that's like, like I guess that's definitely forgivable because people are just ignorant and we were taught to use these words. But like, she was making it worse by just not saying what it was.
And then when Kyle goes, well, you shouldn't have said it. And she just goes, lesson learned.
I know she was really trying to just shut it down. She was regretting doing what she did. And with Crystal, she just has this thing about like her recollection isn't the best. Like she wouldn't make a good like witness in a case because her
100%.
recollection is always like incorrect,
exaggerated.
It's exaggerated, or the timelines are always off. Like she doesn't actually have a concept of time. I'm realizing. Yeah,
like her version of Sutton walking in, it was like a 5-minute. It was like a 5-minute thing.
Yeah, it was so quick. It was like under a minute. I feel like
it was a couple seconds.
Yeah, it was so quick, but it's almost like time stands still for Crystal, and things are much longer, or she just doesn't have a concept of time. And I don't think that she's doing it. I personally don't think she's doing it maliciously. I think it's very innocent, but it can get people in trouble though. It's like the problem is her like not having a concept of time can actually be really bad for someone because what she ends up talking about are like kind of like large accusations. Luckily there are a camera crew following everyone around to be able to rectify and shed light on these misguided time loops that Crystal falls into. So
then Kyle says, I think you're gaslighting the situation. And without a shred of irony, Crystal says, be careful with that. And I'm like, wait, but like, are you now policing her words?
I know.
But hold on. I have a question though. Is Kyle using gaslighting right? I feel like she might not be.
I think she's like not necessarily using it wrong, but I feel like she's not strong in her like reasoning for using it. Like I could like figure out a way to make gaslight work for that situation. Like gaslighting would be more of like when Crystal said to Kyle, you were drunk. That would to me
that's
be more
gaslighting.
Because you're like, because Kyle's saying she doesn't recall anything so dark. You don't remember you were drunk.
You were drunk. And she's like, no,
right?
I wasn't. And you're like, yes, you were.
You were. Or when like Crystal was saying, oh, Kyle, later on, you just wouldn't know that whatever Sutton said was wrong because you're not a part of a minority group. So you wouldn't even probably went over your like simple white privileged woman head. Like, so she's like, no matter what Kyle says happened for her, it would be wrong because she has like these laundry list of excuses of why like you just are like not correct in what happened. So that's gaslighting. But I feel like when Kyle said it, it didn't feel like the right time to say it. But Crystal, she was not wrong. Crystal is gaslighting her. She just said it at a time that it didn't necessarily make sense to say it.
Yeah. Because then she later calls her passive aggressive. And I'm like, that's more accurate maybe to the situation. She is
definitely passive aggressive for sure.
Like Absolutely. She kind of says it and she's like, no, I'm not gonna say anymore. She's just like, no, I'm not. No.
Also, it's
I'm like, I don't like this
because Crystal does just kind of like shut down when she's done. Like she's just like going to give you nothing, which is like I kind of respect it too, because that's a way to like not have to talk about something. But then unfortunately with these ladies, they're really not going to, they're like a dog with a bone. They're not going to let it go. So then we're as an audience having to stay in it. And then we get frustrated with Crystal because it's like, if you just say it, they will stop. and I don't want to continue to do this anymore. So just please goddamn tell them, please. Like they're never going to stop. They will not stop.
It's more as a viewer too. It's unfair. Like we're the audience watching. Yeah. You've done this on camera.
True.
Like if you're doing this, like you've done it on camera, we're the ones watching. They're going to use the footage of you saying it. So like now we're annoyed because now we don't get to know what you're fucking talking about.
Right. And I think that she's still like a little naive to the whole like Bravo game. Like I think she thinks if she doesn't talk about it, then maybe they won't use it because there's nothing. She hasn't given them anything. So like maybe it will like be on the editing room floor. But again, I think that she's underestimating her opponents and they will not let it go. So it will become a storyline because they won't let it go. So then now you not saying it becomes a storyline.
I'm gonna slightly disagree because once you give them that soundbite, they're gonna use it.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. She's good at not getting the soundbite, but the actual situation is still gonna be aired because they won't let it go. So it's like she's kind of damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. You know what I mean? Like she's kind of like she kind of just set herself up for failure here in that moment of throwing Sutton under the bus, because now we're on episode 2. Like we're talking about it for 2 episodes, kind of about to go into 3. Like
this is the 3rd.
Oh, is it? Is it the 3rd?
Hold on. No, 2nd. It feels like 5.
No, is it? No, wait. I'm trying to think. I think Kyle's the initial thing on the same episode as Sutton's party?
Now I can't remember.
We might be on 3 actually.
No, I think we're on the 2nd.
Okay.
I can't remember.
But let me just tell you, regardless, it's going on a tad bit too long.
It's going on too long because it now Crystal's in this place of being so principled about the word. It's like, well, no, the reason why we want you to shut it down is because they're going to use this clip of you saying it could be, it's dark, very dark. And now they're like, fuck, you know what they're going to do? They're going to use this clip.
Oh, absolutely.
So the reason why we're freaked out because Sutton's going to look like she's racist. So we're trying to get you to help her out here and at least clarify that it wasn't what we're trying.
Yeah,
what we're thinking it is.
I don't know.
That's why we're trying. That's why we're trying to get you to at least clarify. Maybe don't say it, but just say
like it's not racist.
Camera.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, you're so right, Emily. And I think I in the voice memos that I was sending Emily, that was my frustration with Crystal. It's like, I actually don't even it wasn't even about really knowing what she said. I just needed to know it wasn't like a slur. It wasn't like something that I'm like, do I need to like petition
denounce
Bravo
Sutton
to get Sutton off? Like, I'm not tolerating Ramona.
And are they protecting her? Like, are they, because what she's accusing Bravo of doing is withholding this footage and protecting her and themselves.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
And the thing, it does take me back to Crystal's use of the word violated from last season. It's just like I feel like they kept harping on her because they wanted her to like, she was making it seem like it was a sexual violation, and they needed to like, again, it's poor Sutton. It's like you're making it seem like Sutton did something pervy, and now you're making it seem this season like Sutton has done something very racist. So it's like, these are really talk about slander. Like, this is really, really bad. Like, those are sexual assault and racism are like top 2, like, don't do things. Like,
yep. And the thing about someone pointed out that the difference too with the violate and the dark. Okay, so she felt violated last year,
right?
She's saying Sutton said something dark.
Yeah,
like that's a fact.
So she's a fact. That's a fact.
Even worse.
Like, you're making like it is like she's literally saying it would be something that could get her. Did she say that it could be something that can get her canceled?
Very damaging.
That is the biggest difference in the two things, because like, again, we feel any way you want to feel, like, fine. Keep the word like you did. You could feel any way you want to feel, but you are saying that Sutton for sure said something that would be damaging to her, that could cancel her. And it was really bad, really dark. So,
and that what she said was why you said,
yeah,
are you that girl?
Right. And which it turns out that no.
That's why we'll get to it, but that's where I was like, well, now hold up.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Yeah. We'll all piece it together. I want to like experience it in real time together.
Yeah.
Because that's when I was like, because I was like preparing content. Because when we get to okay, real quick, I'm going to get through this scene really fast. Diana goes to Kyle's. They talk about how Farrah got engaged and Paris had her wedding. And Diana tells her story about her insane miscarriage. Now, moving on. Sutton and Garcelle have their dinner. Sutton shows up wasted. This bitch, her hair is, she did her hair like, you know, when you're like kind of two Prosecco's in and like you're getting ready and you're like, I look good, but like you look a little messy.
Yeah.
Like she like did her hair and she's like, she thought it looked like beachy like tousled, like, ooh, but she looked like fucked up.
Yeah.
Like Garcelle was like, whoa, look at your hair. She's like, I know, I look a little, I'm like, then she's like trying to put the ice in her thing. I'm like, what is actually happening? Like Sutton, what are you doing?
She's stressed. She's like, I mean, it must be kind of scary. Like you have no idea if you are looking racist yet until you find out 6 months later.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think she's trying to like put it out of her head.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of like, we can pretend.
She's panicking.
She's panicked, but Garcelle's like, all right, let's talk about it. And Sutton seems real squirrely. Like to me, it seemed like Sutton was like omitting something. Like she was like, there's nothing else I can think of. Because she tells the story of how, you know, they flash back to it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I was like getting nervous as Sutton was talking. She's like, I see a black girl in the pool, a Chinese girl in the jacuzzi. I'm like, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? And a redheaded girl. And I'm like, that's what it should be. I'm like, this is out of context. I have no idea what they were talking about prior. And then Crystal's saying, that's great, but you need to do more. I don't know what they were exactly talking about. It definitely was worrying me what Sutton was saying because I didn't know where she was going.
It made sense now that I realized it was the conversation after the whole you're tell me you're that girl that you don't see color. It made sense of Sutton trying to explain what she meant by she doesn't see color. Like that was her like, I'm not saying that it was a good explanation of how you don't see color, but that was what she was trying to articulate to Crystal. Like the reason why I said I don't see colors is like, because like, I think that is just like intermixing should be a very normal thing. Like I love to see it, but like, it just came off very like,
so they flash back to that. And Garcelle is like, that's it.
I know. She really thought, I think we all were like, I really thought she said the N-word.
Yeah.
We're all like waiting for that.
Garcelle's like, what's so dark about kids in a pool?
Yeah. The way Garcelle just summed it up was hilarious to me. She was like, Sutton, that's it. She got mad about a whole bunch of kids in the pool.
But like, she was like, Sutton, there is something else. But then when the way Sutton can't make eye contact with Garcelle, Sutton's like, no, I swear. Like she like looks down. She's like, nothing. There's nothing else. I'm like,
it's just like, it was just so, because Sutton is literally, I could just see the wheels turning in her head. She's like, did I say something else? Like, she's not sure,
like, right?
But that's actually another form of gaslighting because Crystal keeps saying dark so many times that even like Sutton, who's like, I think she's like replay the conversation as much as she can because she doesn't probably have access to the footage that Bravo does. So she's probably like, okay, that was a really emotional weekend. I was obviously putting my foot in my mouth every fucking minute. Did I fucking say something weird? Like I don't like. I think she's like, I don't think I did, but she
was
saying,
like she was like face rolling and crying.
Like,
she's like, I was a mess.
Yeah, she was a mess that weekend. So I think it's just one of those things where like the more she tried to like say that she didn't say anything else, it just made her look more like she did say something, especially coupled with Crystal's like, no, it's damaging. And of course, if someone's built up something is so dark, so damaging, you're like, she is married to Hitler and she has like a whole like plan to overtake the government in her basement. Like, it's like crazy. Like, you're thinking the most insane things that she could have possibly said, like try to have Crystal join her cult. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then just to
goes
find
all kinds of places.
And just to find out it's just her listing out the different races of the little children in her jacuzzi. I'm like, oh, I think we were all a little collectively disappointed with that. T. We're like,
so when I saw, so here's what happened to me. So I'm watching this scene. Okay. And I'm like, I'm preparing content that's like, Sutton is lying because Crystal said that the conversation happened the night of I Don't See Color. And I was preparing this whole bit of content saying Sutton is lying.
You had receipts prepared.
I was like, here we go. Here, I was going to do a whole thing where Crystal said it happened that night. And here Sutton is saying it was this night. So maybe Crystal is right. And I was ready.
Yeah.
So put a pin in that. Okay. Now we get Lois passing.
I was really sad for Rinna in this moment. I'm pretty hard on her usually.
Yeah.
And I was even a little hard on her when she first announced that her mom died because she had made that weird Instagram story. Well,
afterward. It was pretty tasteless to say, I'm going to do it for Lois. So I'm like, yeah, like excuse you.
I don't know. Yeah. Like if people don't know what we're talking about, like right when her mom passed, I don't know why she did this, but like, I don't know why Rinna does a lot of things, but she put something like, I'm going to do this in the name of Lois. Like, I'm to tell it all. Pretty much she was just like trying to use her mom's passing as an excuse for her to be messy. And I thought it was pretty tasteless, but I will say watching this episode, I like did feel for her. I mean, Lois, I loved Lois.
Yeah. And I'm going to say something. I know we drag Rinna a lot, but I will not in any way say anything about her going to Mexico right away because her mom didn't want a feeding tube. Her mom didn't want to be resuscitated. Her mom would have wanted her to go right about her life. And
I did not. There was zero judgments about her going to Mexico. I think that that made sense for me more than like Dorit's like, oh, I'm going to go to Mexico to get my mind off. It actually made way more sense for me that Rinna needed this trip because
totally
that's a lot, like to deal with like your mom passing, the arrangements that you have to make, like probably
she already did a whole week,
it was a week
dealing with it.
It might seem quick, but like that was a week. They probably already like had the funeral at that point because usually funerals happen pretty quickly after. She needed that trip to bring some light. And I do think that Lois would have wanted her to go because we've seen her over the years on this show. She's very jovial. She's very charismatic. I think she definitely would have wanted Rinna to go and be with her friends and not be sad and living in that. So no judgment at all.
No. And they're all at the airport. They're in the airport in like the private jet area that I have.
I need to get into that.
Me too.
I keep trying to watch videos on how to do that. I need that life.
Me too. It's like after flying very recently commercial and sitting in the middle seat because my original flight was canceled. I hate it and I want to fly private.
Yeah. I actually just booked a trip to Tulum yesterday.
For fun?
Yeah, for fun. It's for like my friend Jonathan. You know him, Jonathan Arenas. Oh, should I say whole names?
I'll bleep it out if I remember.
But yeah, no, like he's turning 30 and he went to my birthday when I turned 30 in Costa Rica. So he wanted to go to Tulum. So booked, going in August. Damn. I'm excited. Tulum's great.
How much for tickets?
That's why I booked it yesterday because I happened to find tickets that were like for something, which is not bad. Round trip for something. This
round trip.
Yeah. Prices have been really crazy for flights. I spent the other day to go home to Michigan, $900.
Oh,
more than that.
Rich?
I'm not rich. I'm still paying for that. Like, I'm not rich. I don't even I was really sad about it, but like, whatever.
Oh, that's so ridiculous.
It's crazy.
This is why like when COVID was happening, there were like the perks because everything was so cheap, but you like weren't able to fly anywhere.
Right. And apparently like that's just what tickets are going to be. Like if you're going anywhere, like try to book like
so far in advance
because with the fuel is more expensive now. The labor is more expensive because they're like low on labor. So
yeah,
prices are crazy, guys, for flights. Sad.
I forgot about the fuel. Yeah. I like when Erica comes in, she's like doing this like sidestep thing because she's crazy. And she realizes that she realizes that Rinna's there. She's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And they're like, no, it's fine. She's like, whoa, wrong vibe.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
Whoa, sorry
to do that.
Ooh. They get to Mexico and the would-be awkward van ride which was so weird, which was Crystal, Erica.
They did that Sutton on purpose.
And Garcelle was not awkward at all because they bonded over making fun of Dorit speaking Spanish. And the editing was brilliant. It goes Garcelle going, how much do you want to bet Dorit is speaking Spanish? And they cut over and she's speaking Spanish in an Italian accent. In fact, I think the first thing she said was in Italian. She's Italian.
She's like Luann.
Uh-huh. And then
so
they cut back to Sutton and Sutton's like, and they speak back to you in English. And the man's like 20 minutes. And then she's like, ¿Cuánto tiempo? And he's like 20 minutes.
At least when what's her name from OC?
If you say Shannon, I'm gonna kill you.
Shannon, but the thing is, Shannon really does speak Spanish.
Okay, but I don't want to fucking even say that because Shannon speaks it in a way that's very insulting because she acts like she's like inventing words. She's like, ¿Cuánto tiempo? I'm like, bitch, it's a fucking language. She's acting like she's inventing words. She's like, look at me. I'm saying 2 fucking words. I can't.
The only reason I'm not mad about it is because that's just how she talks in English.
No, it's not. She talks like this. She talks like she speaks English. Hi, I'm speaking English. And that's how Shannon talks.
Does speak like whenever she gets all.
I'm gonna fight you on this.
No, I'm gonna fight you. You didn't
I'm very offended by this.
You didn't even watch last season. I'm gonna fight you,
girl.
I'm gonna fight you.
I get very offended by Shannon's bullshit speaking Spanish. She acts like she's like, watch me, hombre. Let me speak it.
She does She does say it like she's the narrator for Dora the Explorer.
She's acting like she's impressive because she can put 2 fucking words together. I'm like,
also
just
was a really
learn
good
the language.
That was a really good Shannon Bador.
I like, she actually is more insulting to the Spanish speakers who speak the language, and they're like looking at her like, yeah, hi, you just said, how are you? Do you want to medal?
I don't know why I'm gonna say I'm less offended by Shannon's Spanish speaking than I am Dorit. Dorit's pissed me off.
I'm offended by both.
Fine, be offended by both. That? Okay.
I'm mad that you brought up Shannon because now I'm hot. Like I'm like sweating.
Are you hot?
Okay. I'm like, I hate when Shannon does that. I hate when she does all of the fucking accents. Top of the morning.
Oh yeah, she does do that. I was like,
do you want me to go?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
She does cultural appropriation to every country they visit, and we think it's funny. Okay. I might have to edit this out because I'm getting really mad.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Never bring up Shannon Bador's cultural appropriation to me ever again.
Shannon was a hot topic for you.
How did you not know this?
I liked Shannon this last season.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's because everyone else was so horrible.
Well, yeah, no, I actually usually don't like Shannon, and I was like, what? I like Shannon,
and that's why I had to stop watching Pia because I'm like, I refuse to watch a season where I like Shannon.
I really did like Shannon this season.
I did too. I was starting to like her, and I'm like, oh, absolutely not, and I turned it off.
I felt like she wasn't as because she is bad.
Yeah.
But like compared to like Heather's elitistness, I just couldn't. And then Gina had like being so enamored by Heather's eliteness, like was pissing me off. And I also like the thing is Noella was annoying, but she was entertaining, so that was fine. No, she was very like, if I was a person on the cast, I would hate Noella. As a viewer, she was annoying the cast just enough for me. So it was fine. I don't have to deal with her. Like, so, but if I had to deal with her, I'd be like, God damn this bitch.
I'm gonna mute you right now.
You can't have an opinion because you didn't watch it.
Do you think I didn't have the amount of clips that were posted of Noella?
No, you didn't watch it. We're putting a pin in it. Put a pin in it. And you don't even know what that reference is because you didn't watch the fucking season. Your fucking face. Keep this in.
You're witnessing our first fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay? It's okay.
No,
it's not okay. We just put a disclaimer that we can like have our own opinions in the top of this show. You're not following it. You're trolling me in real time, like the people in comment section. Okay.
You're being okay.
And we discussed being light. Crystal.
That's the new insult. Don't be such a crystal.
Damn.
That's the new insult.
We brought it back. It's fine. Okay.
We brought it back.
We're back.
A reminder to please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. While you're at it, go on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hanks. Thank you.
My like ears hurt because I'm like laughing.
Too.
And, like I almost like need to take my sunglasses off because like I'm laughing so hard. My like literally my back of my ears hurt like bad. Like I don't know what to do.
Take your sunglasses off.
I know it's not going to happen.
No one can see my face right now.
Okay, hold on. I just have to like hold on. I just need to reset because like I'm literally dying. Stop making me laugh.
Okay,
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm not laughing. I'm not subscribing. Okay, I'm back. I got it.
Fucking face. Okay, so now we're at dinner. Dorit is late, and like, my first thought was, oh, we're returning to some normalcy because I thought she was like getting glam, but that's not why she's late. We'll get to that.
I didn't quite understand why she was late. She just like said a bunch of things to me.
I thought that she was late because I was literally like, oh yay, she's getting glam and doing a look. Are people setting up a party again?
No, but it's funny because
hold on. The reason why I said that's because Pia's in her like communal area, and one time when we were recording, literally, like people showed up and started setting up like tables and chairs, and just didn't care Pia was there, and were like setting it up all around her.
Yeah, I was like, should I go?
Yeah, and so she had to leave, and we had to reset. So someone just came in, and I think she's fine though.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Not the same situation, but it's funny. We just got this long email from my building yesterday talking about how we can't do that. Like, we can't
I'm sure it's about them.
Probably, like we can't just like set up a party without like because that's how I know it really was. And I was like, did they like rent? Because you can rent out the space, but they charge you if you're like gonna like not want other residents using the space. And they're like, no, like you guys can't just like throw something there without asking us. Because first of all, we charge for that, and also like other residents have to be able to use the space. And they're like, if people keep doing that, we're gonna because we have like a leisure, and they'll just add it to the bill for like your rent. They're like, no.
It's about those people. I guarantee
probably
because it was so rude.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I mean, also like I would have like, I just like they just didn't care that I was there, and they were so loud, and which is fine because like it is a shared space. But it was just like they were like definitely doing a thing like we're gonna make sure she leaves.
Yeah,
like, and I did,
and
it worked. So
yeah, I mean, if we weren't recording and needing like audio to sound a certain way, maybe you wouldn't have had to. But like we couldn't, it was like loud and shit.
Yeah,
so.
there was like nothing. That was a very chaotic morning for me.
Yeah, that all the things are happening.
Everything went wrong for me that day. Forgot my sunglasses.
Yeah, you got off on the wrong floor twice.
That happened.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Erica. So Pia and I talked about this yesterday, and I guess I know that Erica's just a deplorable human being. I think we've established that we know that. Yeah. But I have to I'm sorry, guys. Like, she
hilarious so far.
The combo of Lexapro and alcohol is really working for me in this scene because she's crazy. She shows up and she's got that crazy bag that has like a ball at the end of it, and she's like
wheeling it around.
She's like, I like fun bags. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm okay with it. I'm just gonna enjoy it while I can.
Yeah, I'm glad we put the disclaimer. We think she's a terrible human being.
Terrible.
That doesn't mean that she's not wildly funny in these scenes. In a lot of the scenes, like, she's been like actually getting me, like making me chuckle. I still hate her. I think that what she's doing is terrible. But yeah, like, at least if she's going to be on my screen.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying her this season so far, as in comparison to last season, where she was just like, it was polar opposite. She was shut down. She was mean. It was hard to watch. At least she's just like, oh, like, just yeah.
She's like the crazy drunk aunt at the table, and it's funny. Rinna does talk about her mom, and it is kind of nice to see. This is something that's so real. So Rinna can't be like acting. Like, this is finally like a grounded moment from Rinna. And she was 93 and a half years old, and she didn't have a walker. She had her sight. She had her hearing. Like, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. No, she was really nimbly bimbly for a 93-year-old.
Yeah. Dorit arrives, and she was late because she was really triggered and felt unsafe in the room. And so she was like dealing with, I guess, just that. Maybe she had to move.
I feel like she had to move rooms. First of all, I also, whether a break-in happened or not at my fucking house, I don't want to ever be on a ground fucking floor.
Never.
That, I mean, she's not wrong for feeling uncomfortable for being on a ground floor. Like, that is like, you don't want to be on a ground floor. It's just easier to like be robbed. And also, like, they're kind of like at a resorty type place. Like, a lot of people get robbed on resorts. Like, it's like an epidemic.
No, it's true.
That's why I'm so confused of why she thinks this is such a good idea for her to like,
right?
Mexico tourists are like the number one people to get like,
they're targeted,
robbed and targeted, and especially these like women who look like they're super rich. Like, it happens so often. Like, there was like a story I would see like every other week of people going to these like resorts and them being like robbed and raped by like staff and stuff. Like, you got to be fucking. That's why I was so like surprised that she thought this was a good idea, this Mexico trip for her. Like, there have been shootouts on the beaches from like rival gangs and stuff like that. Like, this is like not like, it just didn't make sense for me. Like, this is not gonna be helpful in your recovery. Like, and you are, and like, I'm right. Like, she's already triggered, and she's like already. So day one, like, it's not necessarily, I don't think this was a good idea for her. I don't think this was a good idea.
So Rinna she's right back to work. She goes, I was gone for a week. Did I miss anything?
And you know, it's Rinna being fucking shady. She knows exactly what she missed, because she doesn't miss an opportunity.
I don't know if she knows exactly.
Eric, you think Erica didn't tell her that oh, please. The way she said it was like, we're going to talk about it.
Here's
Rinna
the thing. I think she knows a little, because she was there for the original. She was there for Crystal saying it was very dark. She heard that initially. No, I know. She was also at the thing. I don't think she knows how it's played out yet, though.
I mean, I think this is going to be, we're going to have to agree to disagree. Like, I feel like the way she asks the question is like, she knows that there was an awkward moment at Sutton's party. And she was like, when Sutton was brought up her party and her having to miss it, I felt like Rinna was like,
hold on, put a pin in that, because I feel like I'm going to show you how it finally really clicks.
Okay.
In a second.
Okay.
And then she goes, oh shit.
Okay. All right. I'm here for this journey.
Okay. So Sutton, obviously they're like awkwardly quiet for a second. Yeah. They're like, fuck. Yeah. And then Sutton's like, I just don't want to be misconstrued in any way. And we have a place of love in my house, and we express love to everyone. And then she looks at Crystal. I don't want any truths to be spoken. And then Crystal is like, yeah, we spoke about it already. So, and so Sutton's like, well, why was it brought up? And Dorit is like, yeah, you said it was like a lot worse. And then Crystal says, so words are like a Rorschach. And Garcelle goes, a what? And Erica says, a blot test. And Crystal says, I know, these are big words.
She says it so condescendingly, though. It just like really pissed me off. I was like, why? I was like, they all gotta stop coming for Garcelle like that, like she's some fucking idiot. Like
when Dorit went, I speak 3 languages, and like put her fingers in her face last season. I was like,
that's like, yeah, like that's what I mean. Like they keep doing this to her as if she's some fucking idiot. Like, stop talking down to Garcelle, please. Thank you.
Well, then fucking Diana chimes in. She's like, she's young, I grew a whole foxtail in a decade. I'm like, you can stop chiming in.
Well, I was really happy that Dorit was pushing back on Diana when she was she was like, okay, Diana, yeah, she's 38, but she's not exactly like a fucking infant. Like, she's still an adult with children. Like, she's a fully capable adult of not being an asshole. Like, stop giving her she's like literally Dorit's like, she's not like she's 21, fresh, like into the world of adulthood. Like, she has 2 children, I think 2 or 3 children. And she's
2.
like about to be 40 soon. Like, she's not a child.
And like, what's the point of what are you trying to say, Diana? What's your point?
She's just trying to take up for her friend, which is fine. But like, shut up. Also, like,
Sutton, you tried to assassinate my character again. And then Erica, I am in awe. This is what I was saying last year.
Erica has not missed an opportunity to try to connect Sutton, try asking her simple questions about her court case.
And when they flash back to it, it's literally Sutton going, she's just literally asking a question. You talked to an attorney about me?
Yeah. And I think Sutton in that clip begins with like, I don't think that you knew what Tom and his firm was doing. I'm just trying to figure out legality wise, like what I should do here, like how much, like what this all means. You're talking to a lawyer about me.
Crystal loves that Erica's trying. Crystal like smirks over when Erica chimes in. I was like, bitch, excuse me. Not the same thing.
Not the same thing. It really isn't the same fucking thing. It's very, very fucking different.
And I like that Garcelle was like, no, that the whole world was judging what you did. This is different.
Yeah, we're allowed to ask you questions about something that's very public and in the media. That's why we're here. Like,
Dorit actually, though, suggests that Crystal made something up. And that was not the move, because now Crystal can say, it can be like, you can't deny my experience. And like, this is true. But I think they're just trying to get her to say on camera that Sutton isn't a racist, which is what Erica will finally say this, because like she planted a scary seed. Exactly. The audience is going to run with this. But then Crystal says in her confessional, and it's very victim-y, if Rinna or Erica said the word dark, no one would question them. But I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think it's true either. I think that Rinna and Erica get called out all the time, especially Rinna, because she like Munchausen. Like Rinna's probably the number one person that gets called out for that because she exhibits that type of behavior constantly. So yeah, no, I think that's
and Kyle. I think even Kyle would be like, Rinna, you can't. Don't say dark.
I think that's a reach. I think that anytime anybody drops a bit of tea and then doesn't elaborate, they get annoyed. So if anybody dropped a little tea and then said that they can't talk about it and like refuse to give them any other thing, they're going to be annoyed. Any of them. I think that Crystal's reaching. Again, Crystal does this thing where like she said something, so now she's just trying to put it off on everyone else.
Yeah.
And it's like, girl, like just, I get it. It was a slip of the tongue, or you got back in the corner. Just be like, you know what? I think I used the wrong word, guys. Or you know what? I don't know why I even said it. It really wasn't that big. It felt like a big deal to me at the time.
Maybe she could say, look, I said it was dark, but I'm realizing that you guys are taking it to a place that is a little too extreme. It wasn't that extreme. To me, it was problematic, but it wasn't maybe where you guys are taking it. So don't go there. I just don't want to repeat it because I'm worried that
it's really should never have even said it. It's nothing that you guys probably personally would even care about. It's something I care about. But she's not
clarifying it at all.
Because she doesn't, because I think it reminds me of how we even got here. Like when they were like finally at Kyle's house, like, please explain to us again, I'm sorry, your perspective of like how you felt last year. And she gets overwhelmed with like when she's trying to explain how she felt, because I feel like when she's like about to explain it, she feels like almost insecure, like about her feeling. Because she's like, maybe my feeling isn't, they're gonna like put their nose down to it because like they're just not going to think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal to me. And I think she gets insecure about her what happens or her feelings about something. So then she just like shuts down and she refuses to go there because she can keep ownership of her feelings if we all don't get to talk about how like we don't think it's a big deal that what Sutton said in the book. It comes out later what Sutton said.
That's a good assessment. That's a good assessment because sometimes that can happen to me. Like when I go to explain myself, I get overwhelmed with feeling like my feelings won't be received well.
Yeah.
So I kind of trip up on the explanation of it and can sound defensive even before I'm defensive.
Yeah.
So I can come off angry, but instead Crystal comes up, she shuts down.
Yeah. And it's like her way of protecting what she felt. And not allowing us to criticize it because it just like traumatizes her all over again. Because it's just like now it's like you're almost like making fun of like how I feel and like how I perceive things, and she's not allowing them to penetrate that.
Okay, I like that. But then she's like really kind of going to a place of victim. They see me as someone who's easy to poke and attack. And I would like to remind her that she was kind of doing that to Sutton last year.
She was. And
like Sutton, everyone was kind of like, what's up with Sutton? And she really rode with that. Like she was like, she called her bipolar. She was like, she called her crazy. She kept calling her awkward. Like she kind of took advantage of the fact that Sutton seemed like the underdog and was very emotionally raw.
Yeah.
And she, while Sutton, yes, was problematic on her own level, like Crystal, I'll never forget how she was at that dinner with Kathy, Garcelle and Erica. When she was like,
I haven't even heard of her.
I've never even heard of her, like ever. She was so popular, mean girl.
It was so I think did we talk about this when that happened? I just felt like she was clearly trying to penetrate the inner circle, and she never quite got there because there's it took Erica a while to penetrate that circle. She's just
and I feel like they've accepted Crystal. Like they all like her and she's in, but I
think
like,
that there's still a hierarchy. It's like a club. Like Kyle's in charge because she has all the producers in her pocket. And then second fiddle is Rinna because she, also produces really well. Then Dorit. And I think Erica and Dorit were like flip flopping for a while there, but like they're that. And then Teddy was just like their little like lackey.
Yeah.
She was always told what to do.
Yeah. Erica like Erica's like, look, I'm not going to be afraid to say it. You want her to say on camera, she doesn't think you're a racist.
Yeah.
And this is when I think Rinna puts it all together because she sees how this is played out. Because she realizes, okay, they've been filming, scenes have been happening. And this is when she goes, oh, and then she goes, oh, it's really bad. That's when she to me, this is when she really puts it together. She realizes this is going to be at least one episode of content of this.
Okay, I can vibe with that.
Because she knows like how they pace the show. And now Sutton is going off.
Yeah, because like even with Erica kind of like helping Sutton out and Rinna also validating that this is a big deal. I think that those two things happening for Sutton is like, it is a big deal. Like she's really like,
she has tried.
Like, she's like, no, this is a fucking big deal. Like at first she was like, maybe it's not. And like talking herself out of it. And she's like, no, it is a fucking big deal. And my worst fears are happening right now. Everyone in America is going to think I'm fucking racist because I'm a white woman from the South.
And so are you still on the Google Doc? Are you still on the shared doc? Because I have it written out and I want to reenact this scene.
Emily, I haven't been on a Google Doc the entire time. Is it the same one that you sent from last time?
Should be. Let's see. Yeah, you're still on it.
Oh, okay. So see, this is going to really make me look stupid, but I don't quite understand Google Docs. So I'm trying to find the thing that you sent last time.
Here, I'll just email you this side.
Okay. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm not prepared. I feel like I'm in an audition and I didn't get the size. That happened to me once, but it wasn't my fault.
It happened to you? Oh, that's a nightmare.
This is like when auditions were like happening more in person and they never sent me the sides. And I was like, I didn't get sides. I thought that you guys were gonna like, I don't know, give me a call.
Oh, that's rating. A nightmare.
Never got sides and just had to like, and they also they wanted you to be off book. So I'm just like trying to like, it was terrifying. But no.
Did they apologize? Were they understanding?
No, because no one ever apologizes for their mistakes in this business. That's just how.
That's evil.
That's how it works. They just make you think about it for the rest of the goddamn day.
All right. Well, because my email's not loading, so I'm just going to do a one-woman show.
No, I want to play. Hold on. Let me find it. Wait, give me a chance. Give me a chance. Hold on.
Oh, now it's email. Okay, now it is. Okay, here we go. It's finally loaded.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, listeners.
I'm not prepared.
I'll do my best to.
I thought you scrapped it. So I was like, oh, she didn't send anything. But I didn't realize that you just keep going into Google Docs. Okay.
That's where the notes shall always be.
Okay. Now I know. Hold on. There it is. Hi. Now I know. Okay.
All right. You will play the role of Sutton for the first round. And then we'll swap roles. I'll play all the other roles.
Okay.
Okay. Action.
I'm fucking pissed.
Okay. I'm going to give you a little direction.
Okay.
She's really pissed.
Oh, okay. This is part she's really pissed.
She's really pissed.
Okay. Right.
Action.
I'm fucking pissed.
It's not good for you.
No, it's not.
It's not.
And here we go again. And I'm fucking pissed. I said nothing wrong. And I said nothing bad. And this is the truth. It's not fucking fair.
I didn't bring it up.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you did it. And you have a pattern with this, with your friends. You make up lies about your friends behind their backs. That happened.
That was so funny. Okay, my turn.
Let me bring it back up.
Okay, my turn.
I minimized it. Hold on.
Okay. I'm fucking pissed.
It's not good for you.
No, it's not.
It's not.
And here we go again. And I'm fucking pissed. I said nothing wrong. And I said nothing bad. And this is the truth. It's not fucking fair.
I didn't bring it up.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you did it. And you have a pattern with this. With your friends. You make up lies about your friends behind their backs.
I just like how everybody's just doing the thing that they're mad about. Like Sutton's like also doing the obscure, like, what are you talking about with these friends? Like,
yeah, like she went there, and then of course they're like, "What are you?"
She's like, "Well, Sutton, you can't do that.
Now
like,
you did it." And they're like,
"We're all
what?
like, guys, like, why don't you guys know? Like, you have to say what you fucking." Everybody, all the OGs.
Oh, now you're gonna do that.
Yeah, like all the OGs are like, "Okay, no, you guys don't know how to play."
But the interesting thing about that part is that no one really tried that hard to get it out of Sutton. That's the I have to say, like. They dropped that really quick. Notice that?
I
have a feeling because they all know what she's talking about.
Well, yeah, because Rinna, thank you for Rinna. She actually confirmed that in her confessional. She was saying,
or she's just trying to get in on the action.
I mean, you know
what I mean? Like Rinna's such a, I laughed at Rinna joining in because I was like, okay, Rinna, you just wanted to. She's like, I'm a part of it too. Rinna's like, yeah, I've heard that too.
She does try to hook on to something.
Shut up, Rinna. But like, I feel like Kyle's probably heard that because Kyle does know everybody.
Oh, I'm sure Kyle has, but Kyle does plays her like cards close to her chest because Crystal's husband is like, very influential. So I don't know if they're ready to like make a full enemy out of Crystal yet.
Or like it could, because it's just like a rumor,
Yeah.
But like even Diana didn't really push it.
Yeah, they all just wanted to drop it because it's like we're not. There's no lie there.
That was interesting to me. Like Erica probably wouldn't know because Erica's not in the Beverly Hills circle. Like her friends are her gay dancers.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a lot of girlfriends. She's admitted that. So, like when she had her party, it was literally her gay dancers and Yolanda.
And she was probably always the person that people were talking about because they were like, she never really belonged. Yeah. She's just a hooker from the gutter.
But I found that very interesting that they I mean, granted, it could have been editing, but nobody was like, Sutton, you can't. Maybe it was edited out, but again, no one was really pushing back.
I'm actually very, whether it be editing or everyone's self-editing, I am very happy we didn't actually go down this because I'm like, I feel I was already preparing myself for the exhaustion of what this was going to be if we like try to do this whole like tit for tat, take each other down thing.
Now, granted, what Sutton's accusing Crystal of is petty. Like, it's
absolutely.
A friend rumor.
Like, it's just her being a bad friend.
And she goes into her confessional and explains it and says it outright. And says, I've heard from her friends that she will say whatever she needs to say to befriend the most powerful woman in the group.
I mean, that makes that it also tracks. Like
it made me immediately think of that dinner again when she was at Kathy, or she had everyone over. She had Garcelle and Kathy and Erica over, and they were like, I've never heard of her.
As soon as Sutton, I mean, I've noticed that about Crystal. It doesn't mean that I think she's a bad person. It just means she's like that's what a lot of people do in those like circles. They're social climbers. Like for the best example I can think of is Ramona from Roni.
Oh yeah.
She's like shamelessly does it. Like she does it on camera. Like she's so shameless about it. Like remember the whole dinner, the what
Her
was
birthday.
it? Like, her not that's another example, but I was thinking of the one where it's like her and Dorinda went to that event, and then she was supposed to sit at the same table as Dorinda, and she literally, they were like assigned seating. She ditched her because she wanted to sit at a table that would get her more and social status, I guess, quote unquote. And then she got caught at the reunion. She's like, no, that's where they told me to sit. And then
to be fair, I don't want to compare Crystal to Ramona.
No, I'm just saying Ramona is the top of like doing that. But I'm just more of the example is that it's very common in those type of like socialite circles to do that. So I'm not like shocked or like Crystal's a terrible human being. I think it's just like, it's a game that those type of people have to play. And that's what she's used to doing. So I'm not like also going to be like, what a fucking bitch. Like, I mean, that's just like what happens.
And Sutton saying that she's heard from friends that like are no longer her friends. Pia and I know what the world of Beverly Hills looks like. There's some crazy, crazy women in that world. Yeah. And they could be like completely making something up in their head too.
Yeah. That's why like this whole thing, like the perfect word you use is the whole thing is petty. Yeah. It's nothing for me. Like I'm not basing any judgment off of that on Crystal, like none. At all. Cause like, I really don't give a shit if that's what she does because I kind of expect it. It's like a prerequisite to be a part of that type of club.
And let me repeat, like the women that could be feeding this information to Sutton could be completely making this up in their head.
Yeah.
They could be like, Crystal totally lied and said and
they're probably doing
you probably did.
Yeah. And they're probably doing the same thing to each other anyway, but they're just mad because Crystal's on a platform now. Like it's
cutthroat.
It's not anything like damning to me. It's not dark.
Yeah, it's not dark and damaging.
Yeah, she's not going to get canceled. Okay, it's fine.
But for Sutton, this is yet again round 2 of Crystal refusing to take back something that could damage Sutton.
Yeah.
It's like you're refusing to take back things that could actually damage Sutton because you're like, these are my feelings and no one's honoring them.
Yeah.
Okay. We're trying to, but you're not realizing you're on a show right now and it's going to play out this way and you don't care. And because we're not honoring your feelings, it's like, okay, we get it. We're trying to honor your feelings, but you're making it hard because you're taking someone down in the process.
Well, it's like, it's unfair, I think, because she's like, you have to honor my feelings. You have to honor my feelings. But like when someone else says something,
has feelings, she doesn't honor anyone else's feelings.
No, like it's like you would be if like when she keeps on trying to tell Garcelle how she would feel about whatever Sutton said. It's like you're taking ownership of what Garcelle's feeling and not even giving her the space to like process it or the opportunity to figure out if she feels that way. You're just like, hey, don't worry. I don't need to tell you what was said. I just know you wouldn't like it. So don't even worry about it. And I'm going to tell the world you don't like it. And it's like, you can't go around saying that Garcelle would be upset about something that she has no idea what you're talking about. Like, that's not fair. Like, just don't bring anybody else into it. Just be like, singularly, this is how I feel. And it ain't changing. And that's how I feel.
Because when you say the like, on behalf of Garcelle and I, we're offended.
Yeah,
that's different.
And that's like I think her biggest mistake she made with this whole thing, since she didn't want to like actually disclose what was said, is that she kept bringing every minority into it, including myself. So I felt personally like, you have to tell me. I need to know if Sutton said the N-word. It's like I kept sending that Emily voice memos. I need to know right now if Sutton said the N-word, because
we need to know if Bravo's protecting Sutton and themselves. Like that's a big deal.
I'm not gonna tolerate that shit. I'm not. So I was like, you tell me fucking right now, Crystal, what the fuck did this little lady say? This little Southern lady say? What did she say?
Fucking Sutton. Someone, they're like, why are you bringing that up? Sutton goes, I'm telling her this out of love. Sutton is so stupid sometimes. Like, Sutton, shut up.
It's like, we're like all on your side, Sutton, with this, because it is ridiculous that Crystal isn't like disclosing what you said. So we're all like, we are annoyed for you, Sutton, but don't talk, because every time you talk, you make us like me question why I'm like defending you. Every time I'm like, shut the fuck up. You sit over there, be quiet, let us defend you. Shut the fuck up. Sit in that corner, be quiet.
Exactly.
Like, let me fucking do this for you, because you're gonna just scream ugly leather pants. Like you have Tourette's. Because you can't think of words right now. Just shut the hell up.
It's
like ugly leather pants, they weren't even ugly. Sutton. You just can't scream shit. Like, and I hate you, but I love you. Like, stop talking.
Like, so then Kyle, this part cracked me up because you could tell Crystal at this point realized that she fucked up, because Kyle's like, look, as the only other person that was there, and I don't want to go backwards. And Crystal's like, so don't.
I know, that was so funny.
She's like, so don't. Because I think now she's realizing, like, I don't think
like, did I? I was like, I think I may have fudged the timeline here.
She's like, hold on, maybe you weren't there.
She's like, was I drunk?
She's like, hold on. Kyle's like, hold on. I just, I had no choice but to say that I did not witness that. Like, that didn't happen, because I was there as a witness. And Crystal in her confessional says Kyle's choosing not to focus on what was important to me and people of color.
That's not okay. And I think that when Kyle sees that, she's going to have some words for Crystal in the reunion, because
she wasn't even there.
Like, that's fucked up. Crystal need to be careful, because Kyle runs that show. Kyle will turn all your edits bad. Like, do not even insinuate that Kyle is like prejudiced. Like,
it's also interesting because this is like, now Crystal knows when the conversation happened. She knows Kyle wasn't there, and she still chose to say that.
Well, I mean, Sutton did say that she likes to make up lies.
So finally, then Sutton tells people what it was about. Like, so
like, I like how Garcelle is always just like, Sutton, just tell them. Like, she's always, that's Garcelle's like, just tell them what the conversation is. Because Garcelle's like, you already told me what it is. I'm already telling you it's not a big deal, at least to me. I don't think they're going to think it's a big deal. Just fucking say what the conversation was. Sutton is so fucking scared.
Like, and Sutton's like, it's about my family. We have a pool, a jacuzzi, and everyone is welcome. It's multicultural.
God damn it.
And Lisa's like, that's it?
I know. Everyone's like a little bit disappointed. Like, because we're all like, it's not that we want Sutton to have said something terrible, but because it has been built up so much, it's just kind of like womp womp. Like, that's
however, Crystal said on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh.
You didn't see this?
I don't really watch what happens live as much anymore.
No, I this has been part of my post, because right when we thought,
I did see something. Yeah.
Right when we thought we had it all cleared up, she went on Watch What Happens Live. Mm-hmm. She was on Watch What Happens Live right after the episode. And Andy was like, so, now that we've seen the scene, a lot of people, because Garcelle, so Crystal's like, she told you the details. And Garcelle's like, yeah. And she's like, so were you not offended? No. Did you not find it to be problematic? No.
Yeah.
And she looked so disappointed. But then on Watch What Happens Live, Andy's like, so now that you've, gotten this feedback, Crystal's like, well, there was more to that conversation.
God damn it. She's so like, she can't let it die.
So then that, again, you're again accusing then Bravo of hiding this damning footage. What is the footage? Like, why would Bravo want to hide this footage? What is Bravo covering up?
it's like she just really has to be correct in this situation. And it's just like she just keeps digging herself further and further into this hole. And it's like you had an out. And I'm like, I feel like Andy was very kind to book you on the show right after it aired to be able to like change the narrative so people aren't like coming at her and stuff like that. And she just like she's beyond doubling down. Like she's already doubled down before. Like she's like firmly planted
again
the foundation.
Though, she's like, but we talked about it, and like I choose to forgive, and I chose to forgive.
That's just like, yeah, okay, you can forgive anybody for anything. Like again, everybody gets offended. Like I could get offended by your white hat, Emily. I don't know why I would, but I could, and I forgive you for wearing it. Like, what does that mean? Like that doesn't fucking mean anything. Like I'm not trying to be like insensitive of like comparing race to something as simple as like a white hat, but like she's just not. It's unfair to like say you forgive something for something that's crazy like race related and then not disclose, because again she's creating this opportunity for us to fill in the blanks that could be really bad.
Yet again, here we are. I'm going, so what else did she say?
And it's like, I do think that she was really upset that Garcelle, as another person of color on the show, didn't back her in her like viewpoint of it, what Sutton saying be problematic. But it's like everybody, it doesn't mean that, I feel like Crystal just needs to understand it doesn't mean that you're wrong for feeling offended. Like you can be offended by whatever you want to be offended by. Like, and you just have to like not make it necessarily a fact all the time. Like you're making it a fact that she was problematic, that she was offensive. And for Garcelle, what she said wasn't. And now you're just like, to undermine Garcelle, you're saying there's something else. What is it then? Like, I'm done with this.
like, then what the fuck is it?
And it's like, you're not being noble by not saying it. You're actually being worse by not saying it. Like, if that's what you're thinking of, like you're protecting Sutton by not saying it, you're not. You're actually making it quite worse, especially for people who don't like Sutton already. Just giving them more reason to go on a campaign to not like her. And I don't want someone to get dragged racially if they really didn't say anything. And that's also why I'm annoyed, because I don't like the overuse of problematic, the overuse of like you're a racist, because when real racist and problematic things happen, people don't take it as seriously because we're like a sense crying wolf. Like not everything has to be labeled like that. Like, let's really save it for people who are really doing bad stuff. Cause I don't want it to get to a point where we're desensitized to those words. Because that makes, we're not putting weight on problematic anymore. We're not putting weight on like racist, because everybody's racist now. Everybody's problematic. Like we got to pick and choose. That's my tirade on that. Like, I do think that you have to be careful with the words that you use, Crystal. Sorry, like you do.
And I'm seeing the argument a lot that they're just not listening to Crystal and allowing her to have her experience, but I feel like she's not telling them what it was.
Yeah, I think that's what we've discovered. I don't think she's good at communicating her feelings, but you know.
So it's like she's like, you're not letting me have my feeling. It's like, but okay, but here's the issue, I think maybe is that you're having your feelings, but the words you're choosing are at the expense of someone else's reputation. So maybe can we find a middle ground?
Yeah, I think
can we find this middle ground where you don't have to like take down Sutton? And she's like, no, don't police my words. It's like, okay, but your feelings, okay.
I think it's also too that she says, don't police my words. But then if somebody wants to use words like Kyle used, gaslight, like she's policing.
Be careful
words.
With that.
Yeah, it's like I think I would respect it more if she was just consistent with like her viewpoints of like policing. Like,
yeah,
like if like fine, you get to say what you want to say too. Then like if you're like fine with that.
I know I said this on the voice memo, but I'm gonna say here on the pod. I wish she would just lean into the villain role because I view her as a villain.
But the problem is she doesn't know she's a villain.
Yeah, but most villains don't.
That's when, most villains that she really, that's actually the scary part about it. Like she really does not.
She takes the righteous. She takes the righteous route. She takes the she's like standing. Route. She does, and I don't like it because she's like standing up for things, and
she's overly standing up for things.
Yep.
And it's like, what are we like? We're just having a salad today. Like, what's going on?
She's proving a point that she's going to stand in her feelings, and it's like, okay, but we're also just trying to like move the show along.
Yeah, she's just like a walking contradiction for me because it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, she's like when like last season when Sutton was being really dramatic during that one trip where she was like, you kicked me and all that stuff. I was like, Sutton is dramatic, and she was pointing that out. I was like, yeah, Crystal, like thanks for like pointing all that out. Like you're being ridiculous. But then Crystal will do the same fucking thing that she's mad at Sutton for doing. Like she'll be that dramatic too. And I'm like, okay, like you're driving me crazy. Like,
and at least Sutton gives us some theatrics.
Yeah.
Crystal doesn't even give us theatrics. Crystal gives us like quiet pouty. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's very pouty. And I think that's what's bugging me. Cause like, yeah, I think that is the difference. Cause to me, Crystal and Sutton are they're parallels of each other to me. Like they both do the same exact thing for me, but I think that Sutton's entertaining because she's so fucking like crazy.
Yeah, she's a wackadoodle.
Yeah, but Crystal's so contained that it like brings this element of seriousness that's like, okay, like now we're not allowed to like touch it or like talk about it. So then we're like we become like the mean people if we even like question it, and then it's like not fair because it's like, well, you can't just be like you're just throwing a label on me because I'm just like, I don't know if like that happened. Like no, it's like you're the problem. I'm like, well, I mean, it did seem like she did knock. She just didn't seem like she was in there that long. I'm sorry, like. But I felt violated. I'm like, okay, and I received that. I received that. But like, can we agree that maybe the timeline's a little off?
Yeah. No. How dare you? You're not letting me have my feelings. It's like, oh no, I'm just like, yeah, exactly. So at least Sutton gives us a freak out and a cry and a dramatic flair.
And I feel like Sutton's really good at taking the day and being like, I think that was a lot. I think I did a lot. I'm sorry. like I feel like she sits and reflects like, yeah, like I was being crazy.
The entertainment factor is vital. We are making a show. Like this isn't real life where like in real life we need things. This is the TV show part of things. So like that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
And like even at the very end of the scene, she goes, look, I like Crystal as much as I hate her. I like her.
God damn it, Sutton.
What?
And then she goes crazy.
And then she looks over at Crystal and she goes, so thanks.
I know. She's so all over the place in that whole like last part. She was like, I was like, wait. It was like she was talking herself out of being mad. And then realizing, no, I think I still am mad about it. Like, she's like, yeah, and I love Crystal, even though I hate her. You called me racist.
So thanks.
For that. I love her. Love her.
So, yeah. So yet again, one more time, we've got Crystal like hijacking the beginning part of her season with her own like principles and being too serious. And again, I'm sure they'll shake it off because we know that they're going to be fine. And once she can shake it off, we'll enjoy the second part.
This is just a temporary.
Yeah, because we're going to see her get into it with Erica, because in the trailer we have Erica saying to Crystal,
she does.
You're on the side of the victims because you think it's cool. And so I'm going to be all about Crystal when she's going to stand up to Erica.
See, yeah, like Crystal has like, that's my thing. Crystal, I love that you stand up for people and you have like a passion for like calling privileged people out for their privileged behavior. I love that. And I don't want her to stop doing that. I just feel like you don't have to do it for like everything, because then we're not going to appreciate it when it counts, is what my problem is. That's what I'm like, do it. Don't stop doing that. But you don't have to do it on every single one, because when it happens, I want everyone to collectively be like, yes, don't waste it. Don't waste it.
Don't waste it.
These stupid moments, don't waste it. Because I am going to be so here for her standing up to Erica, but like, God, I don't want this part of the season to give the Erica deniers like any reason to be like, well, Crystal just always is complaining. You know what I mean? So like, let's not give the people who the trolls that ammunition of like, well, she's always just making things up. Like she doesn't even have her timelines correct. Like, save it, girl.
You know what? It's like it's strategy.
It is a strategy. Like, you cannot get mad for everything, because then it gives the people who are like, behaving badly that ammunition of like, she's just a sensitive person. You can't do anything without her being upset. Like anything I do, because I'm because I'm white and a woman or a man, like anything I say is wrong. And it's like, don't give them that like excuse.
Ammunition.
Yeah. So that's why I get so like annoyed when like we're overusing problematic and all that stuff. Cause it's like, it gives those people that ammunition to like deny their actual really terrible behavior. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. No, ma'am.
Next week, we do get the beginnings of the Garcelle Erica feud, because we see Garcelle telling Erica, "Oh, you're bugging the shit out of me."
Is it Garcelle says that? Ooh. I have been waiting for the big feud, because I don't know if they haven't filmed the reunion yet. No,
that always comes towards the latter half of the season.
Mm-hmm. I did hear that Kathy will be in attendance, which I was like nervous that she wasn't.
She said she was going, but she had a tone of like, "Oh, I've got a bone to pick."
Oh, I'm excited for that, because Kathy Hilton is like,
you don't fuck with Kathy Hilton.
You don't fuck with Kathy Hilton. And so with all the stuff I think we talked about last time with the drama with Rinna and that like guy. Ooh. Ugh. I think this is going to be a really juicy reunion, but I hope they don't try to like overdo it like they did last year. We were like 4 parts and we really only needed like 3.
Oh, I swear to God, if they do that again, I was so pissed.
Yeah, it just wasn't, because like the first part of the first episode was just pretty much a promotion for the new Halloween movie with Kyle in it. And I was like,
bad.
A little annoyed.
That was so cheesy, that stupid promo.
It's like, okay, guys, I get it. Kyle's
do you have a favorite line of the episode? Or favorite scene?
I just I don't have, it's not necessarily a line, I guess, but the scene of, honestly, I think it was hilarious, Garcelle getting Sutton to actually say what happened, and watching the clip of Sutton being like, and I see a black child. I see a Chinese. I see a redheaded, I think Roman Catholic little girl in this pool. And I just looked and I was like, and this is how it should be. And I was like, it was very like the Michael Jackson song, like, we are the that's like what I heard when she was like saying everybody's race. But also I would like to say, guys, it's okay to describe people by their race. That's not racist. You can just like, I feel like sometimes people get like, they'll whisper like, I'm like, oh, who, like, can you just describe that person? Yeah, like, they're tall. What else? They had like long hair. Okay. They're black. Like when you whisper black, that makes it kind of like, it's like black is just a descriptor. No one's going to get mad that I am a black person. Like that's not bad.
Yeah.
Like it's when you whisper black. It's like, it's okay. Like No one's gonna get mad if you're
They
not
were-
saying
they were-
black. Like
they
you're
were
not saying
Asian.
they were
They were Asian.
like, are you just trying to paint a picture of what that person looks like? It's fine.
Yep.
It's a descriptor. It's totally fine.
Mine was when Sutton like lost it. She was like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. And you did it. And you have a pattern with this, with your friends. You make up lies. I like when she when it like it all it was all clicking in her head that she was like, God damn it. Here we go again. A violate gate. Now this.
Sutton, like, I just like imagine like Sutton pulling out her fucking roll thing. Like, I cannot. Only
She's
thing that makes me happy.
Oh, God damn it. Why? Just missed opportunity. She really missed the opportunity to bust that face roller out at this dinner. Like, this is the only
Sorry,
thing.
I'm going to be doing this because this is the only thing that calms me down. Okay, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do it. Oh, it's happening. Oh, no. She's crazy. She's a Looney Tune. That's like what Crystal said while she's like face rolling.
That face roller was unhinged. She did it for the whole episode.
And it was funny because Sutton,
while she was talking to people,
she was just doing what she was talking, but it was funny because Sutton was like literally told Crystal like, hey, so like I am very triggered by like people saying like crazy and stuff like that because of whatever happened in her life. She's like, I mean, it is crazy though. Like, she was like, did not like Crystal. One thing with Crystal, she's like, you will not tell me to use another word, even if it triggers you. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, that
is my word and I'm using it.
Crystal was pretty savage with Sutton. She did not give a shit.
She did not. She had not
Sutton
one
was going
iota
through
of
something.
remorse or like empathy.
She's like, don't be crazy then.
She's like, well, you are crazy. Like, look at you. You're crazy.
Look at you.
Like,
you're
fucking rolling
nuts.
your fucking face on this yacht.
Like, you're
fucking crazy. That's what crazy people do. That Merriam-Webster says the definition of crazy, like this bitch with her, like she memorizes every word she uses, the definition. Yep. She knows the origin. She knows the phonetics. Like bitches.
Yep.
But I bet she went far in a spelling bee. Like, I bet she went.
It's interesting because energetically, Jackie and Crystal do kind of have sort of the same vibe.
Oh, absolutely. Jackie is very much like that too. Like, it's like she'll like throw stuff out there and she's like, that's how that's the word I use and that's the word I'm gonna stick with. Like, that's how I felt.
Stubborn.
They're very stubborn. They're very stubborn people, but you know. In her comment, I just like how it's so funny because like they are in such a good place now, but like I'm sure it's so hard because they have to relive it now. Yeah. And I can tell by some of Crystal's posts that she's like, everybody, all these viewers watching and gonna tell me how I felt that and they aren't there. And like her little like passive aggressive captions and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, Crystal.
Passive aggressive is my least favorite way to be.
Yeah, she's making very clear on her page, like, that was my truth. No one's changing it. Deal with it.
Yeah. I don't like that. All right, listeners and viewers, if you're watching, please rate, review, subscribe, follow Pia on Instagram and TikTok at PiaGVPIAGETV, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter, but I don't do much, at She Speaks Bravo. And you can please subscribe to my YouTube channel, She Speaks Bravo with Emily Hinks. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.